on YouTube as well as Facebook. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm your host, Sam Capizzi, here with CryptoSomniac.com. Today is March 1st, 2018. It's a brand new month. We had a short month last month, and we are now headed into the springtime. Hit that thumbs up button, and let's hear it for you guys' questions today. And we will talk today about is Bitcoin out of the slumps yet? We are testing that 11,000 mark and trying to see whether or not we're going to break out of it. And we'll pull up the charts, ask your guys questions, share some new information. One of the first things I want to share with you, though, is tomorrow our first official meetup is happening in what's it called? In Los Angeles. And let me just bring up the event, facebook.com/cryptosomniac. I think our event is pinned to the top of the page. By the way, feeling a little sick today. I had a really sore throat when I woke up, so I'll be trying to keep this video quicker today. But right here, the meetup in Los Angeles, we are having it over at Angel City Brewery, and doing the video a little bit earlier as well today. We actually are bringing in our first full-time hire who is coming in from San Francisco, going to crash on our couch for the next few days until we get a place sorted out. And looking forward to it, man. Hustling. This is how we hustle, you know. But anyway, come join us for the meetup next week. I'm sorry, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Angel City Brewery. We'll be having a lot of people out from the team there. We from the Moon Lounge, maybe a couple of guys. I love your videos. Any advice on selling alts to take advantage of the Bitcoin pump? So let's break into it. Let's open up TradingView and let's talk about what we think. So we are currently testing this 11,000 mark, which is crucial to determine the path forward for Bitcoin. And if we open up it on Coinbase, I'll open up the charts. We have some great analysis, especially from a guy inside of the Moon Lounge, which we also have a nice announcement to make. We'll share it. I'm waiting for Robinhood Trading to trade Bitcoin's commissions free, just like with a broker. So you can see that this is a crappy drawing. Let me erase all the squiggle lines. I don't think that's a squiggle boom, right? Let's delete all that. I'd like to draw another trend line right here that we are trying to break out of. Right here. We've been testing this line several times. And you can see that we are up against it. This is the second time we've tested it, and now we are back up at it again. And it's going to be crucial to determine whether or not we are in a bull run. I think Bitcoin is teetering on the edge here. We may have a double top, and I think if well, that's the Moon Lounge right there. Let's show you guys a chart that Amel drew as well in the Moon Lounge. Same thing. You can see it right here. We rejected at 11,067. We kind of tested it again earlier today. We are slumping. And it'll be crucial to see if we can break through this mark here, this red line, and stay above it, above that 11,000 mark. We're literally right below it at 10,960. If we can stay above the 11,000 mark and stay above it, I think we'll be in the clear. There's a lot of indicators here. The MACD on the daily here is actually got a nice little curl up, which is a good sign. Let's take this into the 4-hour. Looks like we tested it earlier. We came back down. Whoop, I'm sorry, that is actually old. We need to zoom in on this. So we got really close to testing it earlier today. We reached the 11,069 mark. We tested it again just not too long ago, actually. Look at that green wick. Looks like we actually got right back there, 11,098, and then we fell right below it. We're going to have to stay above it, and I'd like to see us close above the 11,000 mark, especially on the daily, and hold that for at least a few days to confirm whether or not we are actually out of the slumps, out of the Bitcoin slump. My hunch a feeling. I have a feeling that we won't do it. It's just a feeling. Hey, and sometimes in the markets you just got to go with your gut. I mean, you can look at technical analysis. Again, technical analysis can always be overridden by news. I have a feeling that we're going to stay inside of this kind of slump until for the next couple of weeks, until end of March, April, where we begin to take off in excitement for a number of things, new money coming in, all kinds of things. I also wanted to share some really good news with you all today. Amel is taking one-on-one appointments now with us as part of the CryptoSomniac team. If you haven't gotten a chance to meet him, he is our new technical analysis lead in the Moon Lounge, who has done a fantastic job. A ton of great testimonials. In fact, I will let the testimonials speak for themselves if you don't believe me. I've been taking some screenshots of all of them, and I will just show you. So let me pull up the lounge and the polling. So where is it? Here it is right here. We have polling. So how has Amel treated y'all? Is he a keeper? And here is the comments below. Bunch of thumbs up, as you can see. Amel is beyond a keeper. His attention to detail and how quickly he responds back to people with questions is unbelievable. I don't know how he does it. You definitely have a great addition to your team with Amel. Absolutely, Amel is very knowledgeable. He answers our questions in great detail and promptly, I must add. I don't think Amel sleeps. He is a true CryptoSomniac. Amel is the bomb. Yes, I agree. Personally, I think he's obnoxiously responsive and overzealously helpful. Ban him. So, Amel's been a great addition to the team. He's now taking one-on-one appointments if you'd like to help out and answer your questions. Excellent at charting TA. He will help you, and he's in the Moon Lounge for free if you join the Moon Lounge to answer questions any and all times of the day. So just wanted to share that. There's some news that I wanted to share. So first bank to directly sell cryptocurrencies has been announced in a very small country that I've actually never heard of before. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but Liechtenstein? I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but I thought it would be good news to share. I think it's a great step in the evolution of cryptocurrencies, and it comes in tandem with another article that I'm even more excited about. If you guys didn't catch it, Germany will no longer tax individuals using cryptocurrencies as a means of payment, which I think is huge. This means, so in the U.S., if we scroll down, U.S. treats cryptocurrency as property and it taxes it accordingly. So a simple transaction of cryptocurrencies is basically considered sale of property, almost the equivalent of selling your home, basically. And they've changed that in Germany so that you can actually essentially be void of paying taxes if you use it as a method of transactional payment, which is great to see from a country as large as Germany and has a lot of weight and pull in the EU. It's something that I think I think they're setting the precedent for other EU countries by providing these exemptions, which I was very surprised to be honest, because I think Germany functions and acts a lot like the US, and it was honestly, I think it's a great thing, and if only the US did it, that would be amazing. I think it's a great step forward and the evolution of crypto. I think it's great. I wish that the US would do it. So I think this is great. Any country supporting cryptocurrencies, especially a country like Germany, Liechtenstein, if that's how you pronounce it correctly, Germany, I think this is awesome. I wish the US saw this as well. What's going on though? I see you guys on Facebook and Twitter. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Hit that thumbs up button or likes button. I'll try to answer them. Uncle Sam Wise. People asking about Ethereum Classic. Why don't we pull up the Ethereum Classic chart? ETC, BTC. ETC, BTC on... Let's look at it on Bittrex because I'm sure there's a lot of history. And there's a couple of things. So the moving average staying above the 100-day. This is ETC on the daily. Looks like we've also been kind of trying to break out of a downward pattern that looked like this, and we have not been able to do it. A lot of cryptocurrencies following suit. This one actually dates all the way back to the end of May. ETC just continuously losing value. ETC was never something that I was as a big, largely excited on. It kind of feels like the dead chain to Ethereum, but from a TA standpoint, I don't think it looks too good either. I'd love to add some more moving averages in here. Where is the indicators? Let me add a couple of other moving averages. Moving average. Let's add a couple more. We'll make this the 7, and let's change the color of it to yellow, and let's add a 77-day moving average. We'll make it red. 77. And that's actually a good sign for Ethereum Classic. You can see whenever everything crosses together like this, the 7, the 77, let's get rid of the 100. I actually like the 7, 21, 77. If I could add one more moving average there. Moving average. And let's get in the 721. And if anyone's wondering, by the way, a 721.77 is 3 common moving averages that you can use in conjunction with each other. They're just different periods, moving averages. They are different. The 7 is the shortest one and the most the one that's going to match the actual movement of the graph most similarly, because it's only taking into account the last 7 periods, whereas the 77-day one is going to lag a bit behind. That's the red one here, so you don't see it. You see it lag behind. But something that very commonly happens, which is just interesting to note right here, is that when all 3 of them happen, magic usually happens, and you see that in a couple of places. You see it down here. All 3 cross. You see it up here, and the locking of the whatchamacallit keeps pinning it. So that's the ugliest circle I've ever drawn. But we also see it again down here, and you can see, when they all 3 happen, those are usually kind of like inflection points for the graph, and we head back down. So it's interesting to see the 721 and the 77 actually all came together to meet about the beginning of January. So it had been in a big slump. It is also testing something very similar to Bitcoin right now, trying to get across that red line. So let's see. Let's go back to YouTube. It's been a second. Hi Sam, if BTC fails to break out of the downward trend now, will that not be a really bad thing for crypto in general? Many were hoping for a breakout already at the start of the week. So I think that, in all honesty, seeing where we've come from last year, even if we don't break out, I mean, we are still super high. And my gut feeling has me saying that, a lot of the people in the space aren't going to be coming in later until June. I think that it's, this is a very messy graph. What in the world happened? Let's use, let's just look at it on a different exchange. USD over on, look at it on Bitfinex. So even if we don't break past it, it was very interesting. The years, what was it? In 2014, 2015, 2013, 2014, the time between the 2 happenings, the Bitcoin happenings, was very mediocre and modest. The gains were not very exciting up until 2016 when the halvening happened. If we can zoom in on the graph, I think it was June of 2016 where the halvening happened, and there was a lot of excitement, and that's basically it right there. That is the halvening right here. The run-up before the halvening was super exciting, and that's going to happen again. Now, there was not a lot of excitement in the years prior. It actually had sank a bit. So 2014, 2015, it had lost a lot of excitement. Of course, the crypto markets have changed a lot since then. But, you know, someone brought up the point to me that, you know, hey, do we kind of float around these next year or two until we have more excitement when the Bitcoin halving happens in 2020? I don't think so. I think the game's changed a little bit. But to see us kind of hold even above $10,000, $11,000 for longer and longer is all right with me. You know, I don't need to see amazing gains right now, as we've had such a dramatic run up from where we were prior. We went from $20 billion as a market as a whole last January to where we are now, over 500 billion. Are we still at 500 billion? We're at 460, so we're a little bit below it. But meanwhile, the alts have been sinking slowly but surely, as kind of expected on a lot of these, as they've had a great run up as well. You can see Bitcoin's dominance is slowly rising. So I've been saying for a while, I think Bitcoin has been a better hold recently than some of these altcoins, because we've been pummeled. Bitcoin has been pummeled in specifically. So Bitcoin is slowly regaining its dominance in the market, slowly but surely. I could see that happening a lot. Let's see in the next 19 minutes what Bitcoin is going to do. Cardano. So Cardano is a great project that I've loved for a while. It's something that I definitely I definitely want to hold. I think it's a little overvalued. I mean, look at that. Everything. If I could pull up this chart, this happens time and time again. Cardano had a beautiful run up. Charles, it was a great pleasure to speak with him on the channel and bring him on. But you know, his parading and interviewing on channels, you know, really did a lot for the coin. It really pumped it. You know, it had great widespread news, and everything is cyclical. Everything comes back down and then it goes back up. And I think Cardano is an amazing platform. But right now, let's face it, they have two layers that they've built their project into: the CSL layer and the CCL layer. Right now, the settlement layer, the one that is basically just a transactional method from Alice to Bob, so I can send coins from me to you, Alice to Bob, is the only thing that's functioning right now in it. The control layer, which is the smart contract layer, the part where you can attach metadata, all that fancy stuff, run blockchains underneath of it, is not here yet. So to be in the top 5 above things like Neo and Ethereum is a little bit radical, considering that you cannot build blockchains off of it. It is good to see that we are stumbling around these lines. You know, you can see that we've had a lot of support in this area prior, and it looks like we're holding at it right now, which is something that I do like to see. So I don't see Cardano falling a ton more. I'd love to draw a nice fib retracement from the bottom to top, and we did sink below the 618. I would be very surprised to see us fall below that next tier, whether it be here or there. Those are kind of your next 2 levels of support. If we do drop below this, you know, I do think it's a decent buy now, but if we do drop below that, expect us to head down to probably here. But that's why I think Cardano is not doing amazingly well right now. It has just been very greatly inflated, I guess. It's not a project that I do not dislike, but and by the way, like I said, doing the stream a little bit earlier, we're bringing in our first full-time employee later tonight. I know that some of you had asked if you want to see the 10 principles, or 9 principles actually, of our company. Feel free to shout out and we can cover them. I don't know if it's interesting. What else? Do you think that Walton or Utrust can recover? So oh, I closed that article that I did want to share, but I actually am not a big fan of Utrust, since it has is now competing with Coinbase. So it's not a bad project, but for me personally, I would be looking to sell it the next time that it has a nice little pop, due to the fact that Coinbase Commerce is doing pretty much exactly what Utrust is trying to do, and I think Coinbase will just do it a lot better. And being that they have the name behind them, I don't want to compete in that kind of space. So not that Utrust isn't a bad project, but I think there are better, more certainties in the space, and I don't like to gamble. I don't like to take chances with my money. I like to be certain, and I can't be certain right now that UTrust is going to do better or work out better than, say, Coinbase. So I'd rather just stick with something else. I heard there might be some serious problems with IOTA, and what is your take on Ripple? Ripple, I think, I continue to see if we could go to our cryptocurrency, reddit.com/XRP, or let me go XRP. Is it Ripple? It's actually just Ripple. Ripple continues to sign Cambridge to use, that's what I wanted, I couldn't remember the name of it, Cambridge to use Ripple for faster global payments. I see a ton of people, ton of companies and partners tack on or run Ripple for faster payments. And at the end of the day, like, I'm not a big fan of Ripple. I don't like decentralization in it, but I do like the fact that it's got a lot of banks and people behind it. And to be honest, one of the first things that brought me into Ethereum, I invested into Ethereum when it was around $6, $7, and the whole reason I did was because of the fact that I had saw Microsoft partner up with them. And at the time, I didn't know much about Ethereum. I had no idea what smart contracts were. I was really just finally trying to learn and understand what the blockchain was. And then they had came out with this whole new thing called smart contracts, and it was so difficult to understand. But the whole reason I continued to do research was because of the fact that Microsoft had partnered with them and joined the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance. Now Ripple, I continue to see bank after bank after bank partner with or use them, or another company use them because of their fast transactions. And despite me not liking the technology, I think that it is it's a good investment. And I like money. I don't really care. At the end of the day, I just want money. And someone puts a great guilty spark. People are just idealistic when it comes to Ripple, and maybe that turns some people away from wanting to invest in Ripple. And at the end of the day, don't get me wrong, I'm not like being a Ripple shill here or anything. It's not like a huge percentage of my portfolio, but just the long-term outset, I think, for Ripple is very good. Like, if I don't think it's leaving the top 10 anytime soon. I think that people will be leaving Ripple anytime soon. Like I said again, I'm not a fan of, just like, the other ideologies. I share a lot of the same ideologies that people don't want to, participate in Ripple or centralization. But at the end of the day, I just want money, and I think it's a good investment, and it's a good diversification of your portfolio. I'm someone who likes to be very diverse. I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. So I think Ripple is very safe and is going to continue to be adopted as time goes on. And while I'm at it and I see a spike right here, there was actually a great video in case anyone didn't see it. I wish I could see it. Let me go on YouTube. There was a video that I watched last night from Andre Antonopoulos, who I'm sure a lot of you guys know. And wow, Monero is actually one of the few coins that has really held its own throughout the slumps. Very surprising to see that. Monero is Andreas Antonopoulos. I never know how to spell this guy's name. He was asked about altcoins and specialization. Here it is right here. I'd recommend you guys go watch this. And it was interesting to see that he had been an advocate. He stated that his interest is in cryptocurrencies that are pioneering privacy and anonymity, such as Monero and Zcash. So it was very interesting to see a thought leader like that, and maybe that's why Monero is pumping today, because of that. I thought that it was interesting to see him come out and say that. Monero, I think, is also one of those coins that, similar to Ripple, is just not going anywhere. It was my third ever investment after Ethereum. Actually, I honestly don't know whether Monero or Ethereum was second. I kind of bought them right around the same time, but Monero is what can you say? Monero is not going anywhere. It's the most secure and private cryptocurrency out there, and there is a ton of use cases for privacy. And I think as people learn more and more about the public ledger, that they are going to value privacy. And there's great reasons as to why someone would value privacy that isn't illegal, illicit, or whatever. For example, you get paid a weekly wage here in the U.S., or sometimes bi-weekly or monthly. and say that you pay yourself, or your job pays you, $3,000 a month or $3,000 biweekly, and you're going to see that same transaction every 2 weeks on the blockchain. So it's very obvious to other people how much your salary or wage is. And people don't typically share what their wage or salary is here in America. It's usually private information, and they will value privacy. And I think the coins that are at least testing these different things, there's a lot of things like ring signatures and ZK snarks, and which ones will be the best and most suited for mainstream adoption and integrate with these legacy systems is yet to be seen. But I think people will certainly value privacy. And someone asks on Twitter my thoughts on Verge when it comes to projects and privacy. I think Verge is a shitcoin. They basically have just taken the blockchain and integrated Tor with it, which is nothing fancy. In fact, I have Tor. I have Tor right here. I could easily just go on the blockchain and I could run Bitcoin's blockchain through Tor and do it all anonymously or privately without the use for Verge. There's no reason to use Verge. I could literally do what Verge is doing with Bitcoin if I were to run it through Tor. So I think Verge is actually a shitcoin. There's no reason to use Verge. It offers nothing proprietary or special. 2024 is when everyone is being digital. Every country is going for this. What will you use to travel? Maybe Ripple? Who knows? We'll see. In fact, I'm able to use Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these other cryptos a lot right now. We'll see what happens in 8 years. I think it is going to be an exciting several years. By the way, hit that thumbs up button, guys. Ooh, there is something that I wanted to share with you. Circle and Poloniex. So I think you guys might have saw it. I didn't announce it yet. It happened a day ago, but I didn't stream yesterday. But Circle has been acquired by Poloniex, and Circle, for those of you who don't know, used to be like the Coinbase. It was the place to go to buy your Bitcoins until Coinbase came out. Circle had got out of the game, out of the Bitcoin space, just before Bitcoin really started to take off. And they actually, they got out of the game at the wrong time, and then Coinbase stepped in, kind of took their place. But now Goldman Sachs backed startup Circle. So Goldman Sachs is a big investor in the startup, or backed startup Circle. And what they did now is they bought Poloniex, which is good and bad for the scene. And they bought it for $400 million. And the biggest reason was Poloniex has been sinking. It has been, there's been a lot of competition coming on the scene. They haven't really been staying up to date with the support and all the updates and staying competitive with the other exchanges. And what they did is they agreed to sell themselves to Goldman Sachs in exchange for being exempt from any legal repercussions that might take place for them. So it was a win-win for them because they are facing a lot of SEC regulation, and they disabled fiat deposits, I think, late in 2016, which they used to have. And now Goldman Sachs, a huge financial institution here in the United States, is actually acquiring them. So from a good standpoint, I see this from a positive end of the spectrum, I see this as good because it shows that there's going to be major institutions, and I don't think this is the last. In fact, I would not be surprised to see some other companies being bought by other big major companies. I think as cryptocurrency keeps innovating, take a company like Google or Amazon or Microsoft or Facebook. There's a lot of people that ask or say, these new cryptocurrencies may be the new Googles, Facebooks, Amazons, Teslas of our generation. And I always thought that there would be three ways or three things that some of these companies could do in regards to the uprise of cryptocurrencies and what they could do to stay competitive. And one of them is do nothing and die. That's the first option. Two, they may be innovating some things of their own. They may have R&D departments that are starting to utilize the blockchain and learn about what could be going on. And eventually, be a competitor in this space. Or three, what they could do is buy out some of the companies that are doing it better than they are and just adapt and buy them out. You know, these companies have billions of dollars, and that was actually the most logical thing that I think a lot of these companies would do, is they would just buy out the big corporate companies, or not corporate companies, but some of these cryptocurrencies, these other exchanges that are on the markets that are doing it already, so that they don't have to play catch up. So I thought that that would be actually a great, from looking at it from this standpoint, I think it's good, because I think, you know, they're seeing the cryptocurrency and these exchanges, etc., anything related to the space as legitimate, a contender or a threat to their economy, and I think it's good. So I think it's just another sign that cryptocurrency is headed in the right direction, and that we'll continue to see other plans and moves kind of like this in corporate America and in other places as well. Why don't we give away some free cryptocurrency to a lucky winner who is random number generator. So I do want to go a little bit early today. We are trying to prepare for our new hire, which we're super excited about. I am kind of sick, so I don't feel that amazing today, but let's make sure we know this is working. So 1 is for Facebook, 2 is for Twitter, and 3 is for YouTube. 2 is for Twitter. So what we're going to do is go to Twitter and see one lucky person who shared this, whether it be on Facebook, Twitter, or commented on YouTube. We'll give you some free crypto. So top 3 cryptocurrencies under $1 last night. Snay shared. Thank you for all the retweets. Do us a favor, retweet this video or share it on Facebook for a chance to win tomorrow. I do believe that only 25 retweets are visible at any given time, so we'll pick a number from 1 to 25. And lucky number 5. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. David. David is our lucky winner today. So thank you for participating. BitConnect, what's up? Listen to your own pocket and don't listen to people. Are you serious when you say that shit? Hopefully PayPal buys you trust. That would be cool. Vinny Lingham, Andreas Antonopoulos. David. Winner. So yeah, just share this video for a chance to win on some free crypto. Again, we brought on a new technical analysis, taking one-on-one appointments. If you are interested, please join us either through one-on-one appointments, where they are all money-back guarantee. You are happy to just say so at the end of the call. If you don't find it helpful, you can just schedule an appointment with myself, Snay, or Amal. You could join the Cryptosomniac Advantage. You could try it free for 14 days, where you'll get access to all of our special reports, everything that we're working on, access to the Moon Lounge, where people are constantly chatting, asking questions, sharing information 24/7, as well as take our course. And all of it you can try either for free or get your money back if you're not happy with it. Thoughts on Next? I think Next is going to be the most hyped ICO out there. If we compare it to what happened with Kyber, it is probably going to launch or go public above ICO price. So if we look at Kyber, Kyber actually sold for 50 cents a token at ICO. And they never went below about $1. So they held... they basically 2x returned from ICO stage. They never went below $1. Right now they're at $1.90, which actually, by the way, I think is a steal. I think Kyber is one of the best buys right now at the moment. And I would definitely be picking some up, because I think Kyber is doing great. It's already out, and it looks like it's working. But if I were to compare Next to that, I think it will be very hyped. I think it will have a nice run up after ICO before, you know, whales sell and flip their money. I also think that it will not be below. I don't think it will get below ICO price. So if you can get in, good luck. I do not see Next dropping below ICO price. I just don't see it happening. So get in while you can. But I think that that's going to do it for today. I'm going to head off a little bit early today. And hopefully you enjoyed the content. Again, I think it's going to be pivotal to see if Bitcoin breaks out of the slump that it's been traveling through and this 11,000 mark. I'd love to see it hold above that mark for a few days before confirming where we go forward. So I think that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you all very much for tuning in. And if I can find this outro video, great. If I can't, peace. All right. Peace, guys.